Everyone, I'm Rossco and welcome again to Swan Valley Zoo. So in this episode we're going to be checking out the aviary that I mentioned I was going to build next in the last episode, the one across from the cheetah exhibit, which is what we looked at in the last episode. Going to be a bit of a shorter one, so this build is definitely not as detailed as the previous episodes. It's quite a small area and just sort of checking out the gap filling of just filling out of the spaces, the empty spaces in the rest of that cheetah area, which pretty much wraps up this little Cheetah Ridge section. So we'll just get stuck into it. So here we are. Like before, when we built the cheetah exhibit, this was all just like just pathing and stuff. None of the structure was there. So tucked in a little garden there. These little wave sort of things on the wall, they're actually the custom signs. I think the default color they come in is blue. I just sort of gave them some random detail to try and fill out that space. Got some garden beds, the stairs that go up to the area, since the whole cheetah section is kind of elevated above the rest of the ground. And of course, anywhere where there's stairs, we need to make sure that everyone, no matter their ability, is able to get up to see those animals. So got a little custom sort of chairlift here. It's meant to sort of, that section on the right is meant to rise up on this rail, which is there on the left, to take anyone who needs it up onto that second level. We've got some buttons there, some little buttons there. So just a small detail, but yeah, you know, accessibility is important. One thing I do love about this the Planet Zoo community actually is how much people do focus on that. Maybe it's just the sort of zoo design and theme park design priorities, but yeah, I feel like every builder is always conscious about ramps and wheelchair accessible spaces and stuff. So it's just really cool. So I figured I'd continue that. We've got the glares hitting it at the moment, but we've got these banners as well. We've got a cheetah on that side, and then the other animal, we've got the hornbill. So may come as a surprise, because after the last episode, I think we did agree that we were going to be building for the Corey Bustard instead, because I'd actually worked with that animal in real life and had a bit of connection to it. So I'd originally built it for the Bustard, and the model for the mod it's not quite up to the sort of standard of quality that I think we see in more recent mods. And the Hornbill one that I ended up using, the animals are absolutely beautiful. The Bustards were just a little bit too janky for my liking, so I decided to move away from them and to build for the Bustards instead. So we will be checking out 2 species of Bustard, which is a bit of a treat. So here's the aviary. Across there's the cheetah building that we looked at last time. So here's the aviary now. Really nothing fancy, super basic. I think it's important, you know, for some balance in the zoo. At the moment, all of the builds I've done are pretty like big hitting sort of keystone species almost. So it's good to sort of introduce something that's maybe not the most exciting animal in the world, but is really just filling out spaces and sort of filling out the roster that the zoo has. So let's go and have a look, and then we'll go inside and we'll have a proper close look at the animals as well. So it's all the mesh, painted black. In game, it's still kind of a bit tricky to look through, but especially in real life, as soon as you paint mesh black, it stops the reflections coming off it, and it makes viewing the exhibit or the aviary or whatever so much better once the aviary is black. So yeah, so we've got some southern ground hornbills, are what most of the animals in here are. So we've got 3, we've got 1.2, so 1 boy and 2 girls. The structure of the southern ground hornbills is that they will have a dominant mating pair, and then the rest of the group, the flock, whatever you want to call it, basically all assist that dominant pair, which is actually a very interesting social structure for a bird. So hopefully we'll have some breeding and we can see that happen here in the zoo. So yeah, really just basic aviary, and then sort of the shed attachment to, just to provide some cover for both the animals, but primarily for their feed stations as well, just to get their food out of the sun, out of the rain, and stay nice and clean for them. So go through here, jump over the rope. Here's just a basic airlock like you would see attached to most aviaries. Tuck in. We've got all the tools, the bins, the bucket, all you need. Again, this is a little bit janky, just sort of fitting the door over the existing exhibit door, but just had to make do with the space we had, so we'll duck inside. Here we go. So, as I mentioned, game froze up a bit, the Hornbill model is absolutely gorgeous. So it's really, really nice. The Busted one, I couldn't get past the eyes. I can't show you, obviously, because the animals aren't in the zoo anymore. But the eyes were like, they were painted over the feathers. so it just looked a bit funny. So when I was filming this originally with the bustards in and doing the cinematic shots and stuff, it wasn't doing it for me. But these hornbills are absolutely beautiful. So there's a sunken forage pit in there, so you get to see them eating out of it a bit. I believe the mod is based on the Indian peafowl, so all of the enrichment stuff is the same as them. Pretty neat. It's really cool seeing them walk around. I think it's quite a nice space for them as well. It was feeling a little bit too small for the bustards actually as well, so definitely happy with the decision here. And then we do also have one other species in here. Another mod. It's a... saw him just over here a minute ago. Oh, there he goes. So it's a Tanzanian red-billed hornbill, I think it is. It's the species that Zazu from The Lion King is meant to be. So that's pretty cool. Cool thing about this one is that he's based off the wolverine, so that's why he's climbing around a lot. So that's quite good and adds a bit of verticality to the exhibit, as long as you don't think about it too hard and watch them climb down a post like that. But good time for us to look away. Yeah, just really basic aviary. Couple of climbing structures that I added after the fact to allow for the other hornbill, the smaller hornbill, to climb, because I wasn't anticipating that any of the bird species in here were going to be able to do that. So yeah, he climbs up on that there, this little vertical post in the middle as well. And if we get really lucky, we'll see him. He does actually climb into this Sudanese frankincense tree here, which is awesome when he does that. But yeah, and then here's just their food dishes, a water dish, some bedding. Yeah, really nothing fancy. Couple of decals on the back, meant to be the water splashing on the thing. Yeah, it was a pretty quick build, so it took me a minute to to sort of make my peace with it, because I think I go to a lot more detail in my other builds. But you know, don't let perfect be the enemy of good, as a City Planner Plays says. If anyone watches him, great City Skylines YouTuber. Yeah, so that's kind of the Hornbill Aviary there. Balanced. The idea with this sheet metal attached to the back is just to create a bit of a visual barrier for the birds. Otherwise they'd be looking straight out onto a pretty busy, what will be a pretty busy thoroughfare of the zoo. So that's just to give them a bit of privacy, so they're only really having to deal with people looking at them from one side. So yeah, that's the aviary. We'll duck back outside and check out some of the other areas that I filled out. Not too bad when you look at it from that angle, is it? Obviously the mesh on top, that's as good as it's gonna get. When you're building a not square aviary, getting the mesh to fit, it's really just about as having the least overlap as possible, but some amount of overlap is gonna have to happen, but that's alright. You see most aviaries in real life have all sorts of patch jobs done over them as they've broken over time, so we'll just call it a realism. Through we go. Just some really basic info signs here. The same pack that I've been using around. I really should check before I do the videos. It's either Goron or Line, one of the two. There's a whole pack on the workshop that I use. There's that hornbill climbing up the back. Pretty cool. Yeah, really happy with the species choice in the end. I think it's a lot nicer, this version of it, than it was when the bustards were in there. So yeah. This little trim on the front, it's like a driftwood fencing piece from, was it the Oceanic pack, I think? Makes a really quick to build and simple perimeter fence for any garden beds and stuff. So yeah, and there's obviously the top of the chairlift as well, so just meant to be a gate and a button. All that. And just more garden beds. Turning off to this way. So here we have a sort of outlook for the Savannah exhibits. Also a little coffee stand. This whole thing here, it's obviously the like custom coffee stand with stuff built over the top of it, but not me. Again, this is what a workshop piece. Absolutely amazing. They have versions for all of the different vendors, so definitely recommend using them. You'll be able to, if you look it up, you'll be able to find it up on the workshop. They're quite a popular blueprint. Yeah, it's pretty groovy. Then just a bunch of seating around here and an animal talk point as well, which you would have seen in the cinematics when there's a talk going on here. It's pretty cool. And yeah, this is just a nice panoramic viewpoint. You go from this side, you can look over see the buffalo and also the restaurant there. Still doesn't have a name. If anyone's got a great name for the restaurant. Someone did recommend, I think it might have been like Serengeti Bar and Grill or something was nice. Something like that. That's probably the closest to an idea I'd go with that I've got so far. But if anyone's thinking of any still, go ahead and let me know. Yeah, and then over there we can see the springbok and the ostrich. You get a little bit of a glimpse at the blue wildebeest there in the back as well. So yeah, just a really awesome vantage point to look over the big savanna dust bowl. Yeah, really happy with how this space has come together. Just the viewing perspectives from up here, from down on that walkway, from inside the restaurant. The vision definitely came to be, which is always good. Oh my goodness. Let's get the daylights out of me. Must be announcing that the talk is happening soon. So yeah, there we can get a bit of a better look at the cheetah banner there as well. So yeah, we'll jump out of Tedget Cam, but that is just about it for this little section. So just have a look at the top. That's that whole cheetah ridge, cheetah plateau, whatever you want to call it. That whole little area complete now. So we've got 2 cheetah displays. We've got now a Hornbill Aviary with 2 species. And then a nice little coffee shop. And outlook over the rest of the savannah as well. So yeah, really happy with how this area wound out. Bit of a simpler episode today, not so much detail, but it's probably good that every video I upload isn't some 30-minute monster. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one anyway. But now that we're done with what I finished building, I want your opinion on where we should go next. So you'll see the crumbled ruins of planning an area. So we've got a few different directions we can go in. So continuing up the sort of main promenade into the rest of Africa, we're looking at, in front of you is going to be a warthog and a meerkat exhibit. Well, 2 separate exhibits, bit of Timon and Pumbaa sort of vibe. Attached to a cafe, and then to the right there'll be a sort of education area, and then you follow down the road, will take you to rhinos, a nocturnal house, and baboons. And then if you come right around, then that will wrap around to hippopotamus as well in that space. And I'm sure there'll be other things that I decide I want to do along the way. And then following that, once that section's done, we'll split off to Islands of Africa section in one direction, and then sort of a swamp, marsh, sort of foresty lowlands of Africa section with your sort of more forest habitat antelope, pygmy hippo, perhaps a leopard as well will be in that section before it then opens up into primates of Africa, which is going to be a whole big section as well. So that's what that direction goes. And then over here, which is what I have actually started building already, this is sort of the carnivores or predators of Africa section. So you'll be able to see what species are there. If you've got a keen eye and you can read the signs. But this is probably the direction we're going to go, I feel like. It is a bit of a dead end. So once you sort of complete that, that'll wrap up this little corner. I don't know if I'll have it continue on and connect to the rhino you can see in the sort of top left of the picture there. It probably will be a bit of a cul-de-sac in the zoo, but yeah, so let me know what you're most excited to see. If you don't want to see any more of Africa, we can start Australia. So just let me know. Always happy for your feedback. Reading your guys' comments and all of that is the real motivation to keep on making these videos. So I do appreciate the effort and attention. So yeah, wrap it up there with an overlook of that completed area now. So thank you very much, everyone. Hope you enjoyed a bit of a shorter video, and have a good one. See you in the next episode. Catch you later.